Today, we're going to be canning some beef bone broth, and I want to bring you along, so let's get started. Okay, what you're going to be needing is some beef shanks, like what I have here. And let me tell you, when you cook this down and you make a broth out of it, you're getting a very high nutrient of a broth, and also the gelatin content of the bone broth is really beneficial for, let's say you have some joint problems or you have arthritis. That glucosamine, that I believe that's how it's said, that is very beneficial for people who have arthritis or joint problems. And sipping some of this bone broth is going to be some of the best medicine you could ever give to yourself. Besides that, you're never going to find any other bone broth that tastes this superior. And you're going to never want to go back and buy any of them bone broths that are available to you out in the stores. I'm getting low on my bone broth. As you see, this one is from last year. Like I said, I'm getting down to... Okay, I have my beef shanks ready to be placed into a preheated 400-degree oven, and we're gonna sit there and bake these beautiful babies for 30 minutes. We'll be back after that. Okay, my timer has just gone off, so I'm gonna grab them out of the oven and I'm gonna bring them over here, and I'm gonna show you the rest of the procedure to make your beef bone broth. And there we go. Okay, and now what I want you to do is I want you to reduce our oven temperature, and I want us to go down to 225. Alright, and now what we're going to do in this mixture here is we're going to add a large onion. Well, I'm going with the dehydrated diced onion, because I like the depth of flavor that the dehydrated onion gives to the broth. And then we're going to also put in this here is 3 cloves of garlic that are crushed. Again, I'm using the dehydrated. And then you're going to want 2 teaspoons of salt. A teaspoon of pepper. This is optional. You do not have to put the pepper in if you don't want to. I just like adding it because that's my preference. And then we're going to be needing 2 tablespoons of our, oops, apple cider vinegar. And it's really better if you have the mother apple cider vinegar. I don't have any on hand, so that's why I'm using just my apple cider vinegar that I do have. And also, folks, after you open up a bottle of your apple cider vinegar, do not put it back on your pantry shelves. Please put it in your refrigerator. Okay, let's go ahead and let's add in your 2 quarts of water. I'm going to go grab a wooden spoon, and I'm going to give this a stir. Okay. And then you're going to want to grab your cover to your Dutch oven. And you're going to want to cover this all up. You're going to want to put that back into the oven at a temperature of 225 degrees. And we're going to bake this with the cover on for 8 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this back in my oven for 8 hours at 225 degrees, and we'll be back then. And I also add 3 tablespoons better than bouillon beef flavor. So go ahead and add that to this before you put it in the oven for the 8 hours. Now let's put our cover back on and put it in the oven for 8 hours at 225. Alright, we're 8 hours in, and I just took it out of the 225 degree oven that we had this in for 8 hours. And now it's time to reduce the oven down to 180, and we're going to do another 8 hours. So see you in another 8 hours. Okay, I just finished up ladling the very last of our beef bone broth, and I'm going to show you the rest of the process. I take my paper towel and I have some vinegar in a cup here that I use, and I dip my paper toweling and I run my paper toweling around the rim and around the edge of my canning jar. And I grab a hot clean lid, place that on my canning jar, get my rag here to help hold on to my, so I can place my, and then finger tighten, and we take our jar lifter, and always pick up your jar. Never lift it up here by the rim. See how far down I grab my jars? Always grab your jars like this, because them can slip, and down will go your jar. Down will go all the goods in your jar. You may end up getting burnt, and you don't want that, so do it this way. Yeah. So I'm going to put this over in my pressure canner, and we'll be back in a minute. And you're going to want to process these pint jars for 20 minutes at 10 pounds of pressure. Well, 10 pounds of pressure is for my area. Be sure to check with your local extension to see what proper poundage you should be canning in your area. Okay, my cover is locked on. My burner is turned all the way up, and we're gonna start building pressure on the inside of our pressure canner. But first, before you can even put the weight on, we're gonna have to vent out of this little hole right here, our vent hole. You're gonna wanna let that vent for 10 minutes. No less than 10 minutes. But you're going to want to vent your pressure canner for 10 minutes. And then we put our weighted gauge on. That would be after 10 minutes of letting this vent. I'm going to show you what it's like when it's venting, but I'm just telling you the procedure. And then we would sit there and go ahead and put on. Thank you for watching. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe today. Y'all come back now. You hear?